watching KWQC TV, making a difference in the Quad Cities. Live from the Quad Cities, with Morgan Otier and Kyle Keel, this is Quad Cities Live.
And thanks for joining us on Quad Cities Live. I'm Marcia Lenz, helping out Morgan once again today. And we continue to highlight QC That's Where initiative, showcasing a partnership between the past year between the Quad Cities Chamber and the Tourism Bureau.
QC, that's where we work best when we're together. QC That's Where is brought to you by a partnership with the Quad Cities Chamber and Visit Quad Cities.
And we are joined now by the president and CEO of Visit Quad Cities, Dave Harrell. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me. Good to see you.
You have been busy. We certainly understand that. You've been working very hard to promote the Quad Cities, and we wanted to talk to you about your mission and your successes. So first, for those who don't really understand what the Visit Quad Cities is all about, how do you sum it up?
Well, I think everything starts with a visit, and so Visit Quad Cities' role as a tourism organization, we're really this economic development engine. We're the ones that are out there selling, marketing, promoting, and fundamentally sharing our story with the world about how great the Quad Cities is as a community, as a region, and hopefully that'll induce people to visit here.
You've had some wins just in the past year, some new events and tournaments and things like that. Give us just a short list.
Well, I think from our point of view, there's so many different things that we're involved in, but if you kind of take a quick look back and you just look at the year, recently we announced that visitor spending was up year over year. And that's just good for our regional economy. Tourism, does so many things to support, jobs, small businesses, people that work in a variety of different industries, like the hospitality industry. Literally, 9,346 jobs are touched by the visitor economy. And so the things that we're doing to recruit meetings, conventions, conferences, group tours, sporting events, you name it, all have a huge, impact. Some of these things you're gonna hear about, you're gonna know. Some things might not necessarily be top of mind, but they all have value, and they're all really generating, dollars that hopefully are gonna get reinvested back into our community, because that non-resident revenue is like gold. It's the absolute best money you can buy.
Yeah, and now you've expanded your reach. Tell us about how you are teaming up with other bureaus, other organizations to promote the Quad Cities.
Well, primarily like our service area is Rock Island County and Scott County. So that is really designed in terms of how we interact with both tourism offices in Springfield, Illinois, and Des Moines. But we also really, spread our coverage area, because we are a region. So we've got great partners in Mercer County. We've got great partners in Henry County. There's wonderful communities within the region. If you look at the Quad Cities, a lot of times people will talk about like the 5, communities in the Quad Cities. Really, we talk about the 58 communities that are part of this regional family, and so they all have a unique set of character traits. They have wonderful assets and things that they bring to bear, and our job is to hopefully amplify that to put them on a worldwide stage.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Share the wealth and benefit by it. Right. The wealth of talent and events that we have in the whole community.
Well, in tourism, and when visitors come here, they don't know boundaries. They don't care what community they're in. The people that do care are Quad citizens, the people that live here.
Right.
But the reality is, if you don't have familiarity with our market and you're here, you have no idea if you're in Rock Island, Illinois, sometimes Davenport, Moline, Bettendorf, and that's a huge value proposition, for us, because each one of our communities have really this authentic character. And the fact that we can, hopefully bind them together as part of like a tourism product and put that into a promotional strategy is something we're going to continue to do.
Yeah, just show me the cool places. Speaking of cool, you've been recognized for a program that deals with accessibility, the Deaf Journey at the Figge Art Museum. Tell us about that.
Well, you know, we're really involved with accessible, tourism, and accessibility is vital, and a lot of communities are understanding that that you really need to put some intentionality, behind it, and we weren't. As a community, it was very siloed, and so over the last probably year and a half, our team has really been tackling this. It's within our tourism master plan. There's 17 core recommendations and 92 initiatives, and accessible tourism kept popping up. And so we've been working with a program called Wheel the World, which is phenomenal. We're the only destination marketing organization in Iowa and Illinois that our professional staff has been trained in the Sunflower program, and those are all about hidden disabilities. And then we're also thinking through what is that curated content that we can put out with the platforms that we have, either in an earned media space, a paid advertising space, or an owned media space. And so we just recently worked with a content creator, and this wonderful woman came to the community. Her name is Lily Yu. She does content all throughout the entire world, and her company is doing amazing things to really showcase communities and hopefully strengthen them as it relates to understanding people that have hearing disabilities. So she was here for a couple days. I had a chance to spend time with her. Lindsay Rowe, our director of PR and comms, did too, and we got to show her the best of the Quad Cities, and it was just a great opportunity to engage with an expert in this field and learn about what are we doing right, and then what are the things that we need to improve. So she put out an amazing blog and some wonderful social media, and we're really looking forward to continuing to expand that partnership with her.
Yeah. Well, we're running out of time, but what's ahead? What's in the future? What are you working on that we may see manifest down the road?
Well, tourism, is never going to slow down. We need it 365 days out of the year. We have things, whether it's on the group business side, meetings, sporting events that are booked literally through 2029. We just announced that we're hosting the Professional Pickleball Association in August. We've got NAIA Men's Golf. If you look at the TBK expansion that's going to happen with a new facility in January, that's going to provide a whole bunch of new opportunities. We've got a new website skin that we're going to launch, a new destination guide that has a new look, tone, and feel, and just a ton of meetings, a ton of conventions, and a lot of value that tourism is going to bring to our community in 2025 and beyond, and we're excited about it.
Yeah, so you're going to have a lot to promote.
Yeah, but that's the best part about our job, and our professional team just does such an amazing job. That they have a passion. Our board of directors, our certified tourism ambassadors, those 250 CTAs that are out there helping deliver that amazing visitor experience. Just wonderful volunteers.
Cheerleaders, yes.
Yeah, they're really the brand champions. And so the more times that we can elevate the importance of tourism, we need to do it, because it does impact every Quad citizen in a very positive way, and it's definitely impacting our quality of life.
Yeah. Well, you have to be fired up year-round, but you've got us fired up too. Dave Harrell with Visit Quad Cities. Thank you so
Happy
much.
holidays to you.
Thank you. Well, next on QCL, we continue to highlight our partnership with Visit Quad Cities and revisit an interview earlier this year highlighting ideas for date nights in the QC.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
And today we have Katrina Kuning with us from Visit Quad Cities for a very important topic, date night. Katrina, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, of course.
I know you guys brainstormed this, you worked really hard on this, and you made it very unique to the QC. That's why we're titling this whole entire segment QC That's Where. So Valentine's Day, of course, is coming up this Wednesday. We know a lot of people are probably still trying to come up with that perfect date idea. So we're going to take a look at the curated experiences that you guys have provided, starting with the casual date, something that we all know and love.
Yeah, so when I think casual date, I think pizza and beer, right? So we've got over a dozen craft brewers in the Quad Cities. You can grab a flight of beer, a pint, go to QCAletrail.com, We can get you started to make a good selection. Then find some fun with a Storm hockey game. Go to an OG QC style pizza place like Harris or Frank's. And then finish up with arcade bar, analog arcade bar with a pinball game or what have you, what suits you there.
Yeah, a lot of great ideas there. And as people will learn as we kind of go through this list, we have so much to offer that people may not even realize. I mean, maybe it has something to do with, I've lived here all my life. And when you kind of lay it out like that, it's like we do have something for everyone. So we're going to move on to the traditional Valentine's Day date. What did you guys come up with for that?
Yeah, so we're thinking, like appetizers or dinner and a show. So like Fifth Avenue Syndicate in Moline, enjoy some food and drinks there, and then go over to Comedy Sports over at the Spotlight Theater is really fun. On the Davenport side, the Half Nelson, delicious, everything there. And then right next door, the Last Picture House, they have film screenings, older movies, new movies. Yes. They're an incredible addition to the Quad Cities, the Last Picture House. We've gotten the opportunity to talk to them just a couple of times. And what I think is truly amazing is people will request, like, you got to get this cult classic movie in the theater, and they listen, and typically they make that stuff happen. So even if you're seeing something that's nominated for an Academy Award, the very next night you could be seeing a movie that came out in the 70s or the 80s on the same screen. And all of those, they're really good about adding to the Visit Quad Cities events calendar. So if you want to know what they're going to be playing, hop over to visitquadcities.com/events, and they got it all laid out there too.
They really do, and we'll remind everybody of that before we wrap up today. Romantic date is the next one.
So here's one of my favorites. Pick out chocolates at Lago Marcino's. I mean, Lago Marcino's has been around for over a century in the Quad Cities, so it's really a staple. Go there and then enjoy a beautiful sunset over at the River Room, or go over to Up Sky Bar when the weather turns a little nicer over in Davenport. Gorgeous views there. You could have a conversation over coffee, like the Atlas Collective downtown Moline. Really cozy place. And then again, when the weather turns a little bit, maybe walk over the I-74 bridge pedestrian path, the Oculus.
That's the River Room for anybody that's curious, correct? In East Moline there. Gorgeous.
And there's Atlas right there.
Yeah, beautiful. So plenty of stuff to do there. I've seen plenty of people going over the I-74 bridge. I mean, with the weather that we've been having.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Right now is fine too. And
it's been beautiful.
And the weather's really it doesn't matter. The view is going to be gorgeous.
Bundle up
either
and
way.
enjoy.
So, yep.
1000%. Okay, I love this one. The high energy date.
We want to send you over to Dick's House of Sport to climb the rock wall.
You don't want to send me.
We do. We want to send you. No, check it out. I mean, even just side note, like it's a cool place to take the kids
really
too.
is.
So it doesn't have to be date, but
look at that.
Yeah, it's super fun. And then like Palmer Hills Golf Course, when they reopen in TBD, check out their Facebook page, but grab a bucket of balls and go to the driving range, and it's super fun.
And I also have heard too that they've been working on their restaurant there as well at Palmer's, so that's going to be up and coming and exciting. Okay, this idea, I absolutely love that you guys put quirky date on your list, because we're all a little quirky, and you have some really good ideas. I love the first point on the screen.
Yes. Okay, so if you haven't been to Raygun T-shirts in Davenport, do it. Super fun things that they put out. So I think, go pick out a T-shirt for each other. Bonus points if you wear it on the rest of the date. Swing over to Oh So Sweet by Tiffany. Seasonally and at holidays, they've got like some really funny, snarky cookies with funny sayings on them. So grab some of those and then finish up your date at Armored Gardens or Devon's Complaint Department.
Fantastic spaces. If you've never been to either of them, you're looking at Armored Gardens right now. They have all of those taps. And then this is Devon's, which kind of has that throwback, almost like Grandma and Grandpa's basement vibe. So just really cool spaces, really cool gems that we have all over the Quad Cities. We'll definitely get this up on the website for anybody that may have seen That's the Perfect Date Night. We'll make sure that we remind you of what Katrina was talking about. And as Katrina already mentioned, if you're searching for an event or an activity at any time in the QCA, doesn't have to be Valentine's Day, look no further than the events calendar available on the Quad Cities, Visit Quad Cities website. You just type in visitquadcities.com/events and it'll pop up right from there. As always, Teresa, thank you so much, or Katrina, thank you so much for all your work on this.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Next on QCL, we're going to highlight an important program that Visit Quad Cities offers, something that Dave Harrell already mentioned, becoming a certified tourism ambassador.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
We love the community we're in, so why not share that passion with the world by becoming a certified tourism ambassador? Brittany Wells from Visit Quad Cities is here along with Ashley Shepard from Frontier Hospitality Group. Ladies, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. Hey, this is a really fun topic, super pertinent to just being excited and proud about living here in the Quad Cities. So what a better way to show your pride than become a certified ambassador. So we're going to explain to you folks watching all the ways that you can do that. But Brittany, first explain for people what a certified tourism ambassador does.
Basically, it's a cheerleader for the Quad Cities, really just bragging and boasting about ourselves, but we want everyone that visits to have a positive experience. And so we want them to come back and maybe even want to live here.
Okay. They do these ambassador programs in different communities as well, right? So we're one of many under an umbrella.
Correct.
Okay.
It is international, but there's about 30 DMOs in the U.S. that have this program, but we are the first in Iowa and Illinois.
Okay. So who is this program for specifically? Who can do this or who should do this?
Anybody and everybody, I think, especially frontline employees and workers, anyone who's dealing with the public, whether it be bartenders or hoteliers, but anybody who's interacting with anybody who's coming to the area.
Okay, so that kind of brings us to Ashley. You work in hospitality with Frontier. So have you been through this program?
I have. So I have been through the program. It is a great program and really highlights the best things about the Quad Cities and what makes Quad Cities one of the best communities to be in. So it is a good program for anyone that serves people that are coming in from out of town, especially in our hotels. Our frontline team, we want them to be educated on what we have to offer and what drives people to continue to come back to the Quad Cities time and time again and even move here, like Brittany said. So
yeah, honestly, like, you know, the more I learned about it and just kind of going through the information that you guys provided, it really does seem like a no-brainer, right? Like we definitely want the folks that are representing the Quad Cities, especially when we have people coming in from out of town, going out to eat, all of those, we want them to be some of the most knowledgeable people, of course, when it comes to that, because those are the people that are getting asked the questions, right?
Absolutely.
Do you know anything about the Rock Island Arsenal, or what do you know about the Mississippi Riverfront, things like that? You know, you're kind of provided the tools to be able to more easily answer those questions. So it does make sense. So Brittany, there's a CTA book. Is that what you brought?
Yes.
With you? Okay.
So once you register for the class, 2 weeks prior to the class, you will get a pre-read, which is what this book is. It does look a little meaty, but it is not. It's not intimidating at all. But there's a lot of really good fun facts in there.
Okay. Oh yeah.
And like the Quad Cities invented taco pizza. Like we really should be like our own.
We need to be shouting.
Yes. Absolutely.
The rooftops. Okay.
And the book is for each person to keep. So it's a great reference guide for, you know, if you want to look back at something that you learned in the class or pre-read, and it's a great resource for anybody who's taken the class.
Absolutely. So some of the things that you'll be able to find in the book, you touched on a few of them. So a lot of geography, history of the Quad Cities, heritage, influential people that are from the Quad Cities. That's always a good one. Our lifestyle happenings, and of course our bridges. So that kind of makes us very unique and also connects us. So take us through the process, Brittany. You talked about they receive the pre-read or this informational book. What happens after that?
So you'll sign up for the class on ctanetwork.com, and then I will deliver your pre-read to you. So you have 2 weeks to indulge in, I'll highlight, make notes, and whatnot. And then you have a 4-hour exam class with me and a co-partner.
Okay.
And then you get to use this book at the end for an exam. And then when you're done, you get a pin.
And you get a really beautiful
nice
gold pin. Yes, the gold star pin. Okay, so it doesn't sound that bad. And it's not like, you're taking a final or something like that. You get to use this book when you take that exam at the end. And then people get certified. So how long does this typically take from start to finish? You said about 2 or 3 weeks?
So the pre-read you get 2 weeks prior to class, but the class itself is about 4 hours. Start to finish.
Okay, fabulous. So, Ashley, describe some more of the perks as far as being a CTA is concerned. Like, how has that kind of, helped you in your career?
So it really, even though I am a Quad citizen, I do live here,
Right.
there's still things in the book that even someone who lives here, you don't always know about, or you've forgotten, you read before, you've seen before. So it is, like I said, it's a great reference guide. It is something to utilize. The team at the hotel itself, I mean, our frontline team that our front desk agents who greet each guest that comes into the hotel daily, those people that have gone through that class feel so empowered to want to deliver that information when they're like, well, what's there to do? What can I do? Where can I eat? They have that information readily available to give out, which is so amazing because guests really want to know, what is there to do? Why am I in the Quad Cities for work and I don't have anything to do?
And you don't have anything to do.
Yes, so it's very good.
It makes us look fabulous. It shows the pride that we have for the Quad Cities, where you're not just racking your brain going, where did I eat dinner last week?
Yes.
No, you know all of these things. You know the museums. You know the stuff that there is for kids to do. So it sounds like a great program. And something I found really interesting is that you guys said becoming certified is also great on a resume. So for some of those young folks that we have here in the Quad Cities that are maybe in college or something like that. I mean, Brittany, if you saw that, somebody that's graduating college and they've gone through this course, it just makes them like more well-rounded.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Sorry, I answered that for you, but it really does.
Also
it is a very well-rounded one. It shows that you care about the community that you've been in or live in, and it really creates such a sense of belonging to the community and being able to educate other people on what the community has to offer.
I agree. Okay, so for any information on becoming a certified tourism ambassador, or really anything that you want to know about tourism in the Quad Cities, even if you want to be a tourist in your own backyard, head to the website you see on your screen, visit quadcities.com. And for this specifically, all you have to do is search CTA. Thank you, ladies, so much for chatting with me today. It sounds like an awesome program.
All right, coming up in our next half hour, details on a new scholarship created to recognize and support outstanding leaders in women's athletics in the Quad Cities. And cooperating and coordinating among area tourism bureaus. We also touched on this. It's a way to amplify our strengths and encourage more visitors across the region.
And now your first alert forecast with Teresa Bryant.
Well, we started off the day with clear blue skies, a lot of abundant sunshine out there. Too bad it couldn't last. The clouds quickly started to move in by the late morning hours, and mostly cloudy skies sticking with us through this evening and into the overnight. We'll also see a chance for some rain and snow possible late tonight into early tomorrow. Right now, you can see mostly cloudy skies over the Quad Cities area with a reading of 39 degrees. Temperatures ranging from 32 in Dubuque, Galena, and Maquoketa, 34 degrees in Savannah to 44 in the Macomb area, 43 in Keokuk, 45 degrees in Burlington. Winds still moving out of the northwest at about 5 to 10 miles per hour, and we're seeing a blanket of clouds across the region. Did see a few light snow flurries up north earlier this afternoon, but now not so much. We are awaiting the arrival of a Clipper type system that's going to be sweeping through our area later on this evening, and we will start to see some snow by the mid-evening hours in the northwestern portions of our viewing area. That snow continuing to sweep through parts of our viewing area through midnight tonight. Also seeing some light rain showers across the southern portions of the region. They will be short-lived, moving out of here just as quickly as they arrive. Shouldn't have much of an impact on the morning commute, as we're just going to see a very light dusting of precipitation across our viewing area. And then More cloud cover lingering through the day on Wednesday before starting to clear out ever so briefly. For tonight, we'll see lows dropping down to the 30-degree mark, mostly cloudy with light snow or flurries here in the QC metro. Daytime highs, well, they're going to be a little bit cooler, back in the 30s, 30 degrees in Stockton, 32 in Preston, 33 degrees in Morrison. We'll see a reading of 35 degrees in Kewanee, 34 in Muscatine, 36 in Aquaka. And the Quad Cities looking for mostly cloudy and cooler conditions for tomorrow. Temperatures reaching a high of 33 degrees. Here's a look at what we can expect to see over the next 7 days, and temperatures are going to remain on the cool side, mainly in the middle 30s for Thursday, near the 30-degree mark on Friday. Temperatures dropping down into the 20s on Saturday, 30s for Sunday. And then we warm right back up into the 40s by Monday. So it looks like we're going to be in for another roller coaster ride temperature-wise. We will also see another chance for some precipitation possible on Thursday, some light snow showers in some of the northern portions of our viewing area.
All right, thank you, Teresa. Up next, we'll highlight a scholarship that recognizes and supports outstanding leaders in women's athletics. That's after the break.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
QC, that's where. It's where student leaders in women's athletics are not only recognized, but further supported. Here to tell us about this incredible scholarship opportunity is Joan Kranovich, the Vice President of Business Growth for Visit Quad Cities, along with Sarah Cross, the Executive Director of First Tee Quad Cities. Ladies, welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's so nice to have you both in the studio together today, talking about this really cool thing. So, Joan, we'll start with the scholarship itself. Tell us a little bit about it and what inspired it.
Yeah, so I help run the Sports QC powered by Visit Quad Cities, and Sarah's on our advisory group. She's also serving in on the committee for the scholarship. What we decided to do was recognize female athletes, especially at the high school level. We wanted to give back. A lot of our niche is women in athletics. We have a lot of women's athletic events and girls competing in the Quad Cities, and we really wanted to put them on a platform and have a chance for another scholarship.
Yeah, and I really feel like there's just a surge in people taking notice as well right now. I mean, obviously we can talk about Caitlin Clark and all of the other just amazing women that we've now been following and seeing. It's definitely time. So this scholarship is actually named after a pretty incredible person. Can you talk more about that?
Yeah, so Patty Viverito, the scholarship is called the Patty Viverito Emerging Leader Scholarship.
Okay.
Patty is a pioneer and has always been an amazing inspiration to me and many other women and in athletics. She's now retired. She was a commissioner of the Missouri Valley Conference, both football as well as a senior administrator. She has been doing this since 1985.
Wow.
So she was one of the first women to really change things in athletics and led the senior women's administrators for the Valley. And we got connected with her in our history of hosting the Missouri Valley Conference Women's Basketball Championships, and thought who better to name a scholarship after, and she's just such a great person.
That's awesome. A real pioneer from what it sounds like. Sarah, as Joan mentioned, you are on the advisory committee, so you are the one that of a few people that's helping choose the recipients of this scholarship. So talk a little bit more about who the scholarship is aimed at supporting.
Yeah, so it's an amazing committee to sit on. It's all women, which I think is really important. Women supporting women is obviously a really big deal, and especially in athletics. We all seem to have an athletic background as well on this committee. But the scholarship is aimed for local senior girls who, obviously they're in athletics, they're showing leadership in athletics, but it's so much more than that. It's also what they're doing, outside of athletics. Are they in leadership positions within their school, within their community? What do they do outside of school? So it's really amazing to read through these applications, and choose the girls, of course, but to really figure out what's going on in the Quad Cities, what these women are doing, it's really special.
Yeah, it's looking for that, you know, those really well-rounded individuals that are not only showing leadership, you know, on the field, on the court, but, you know, also in their classrooms, also in their communities, and highlighting that, you know, it's not easy when you're that age to do all of those things and fit them all in and make time for them and family and friends and all of that, and it should be recognized. Sarah, talk a little bit more about what a special and important recognition and opportunity this is for these girls.
Yeah, so, you know, these girls really have big dreams. They want to go to amazing schools. They want to do big things in the community. Some of them want to come back and start organizations. So to be able to read through these applications, and, you know, it's difficult to choose because there are so many amazing, incredible women athletes out there that are doing all these great things, but to be able to choose a few and go to their school and surprise them with that scholarship, I'm telling you, Morgan, there's no better feeling than watching a girl get the surprise and then just kind of taking it and applying it to their school and then following up with them when they're in college, and it's just really fun to be a part of.
Yeah, I'm sure it's really special. This has been going on since, what, 2023? It's
been a couple years.
So you've done it so you've handed out scholarships 2023, 2024, and then we're gearing up for the recipients for 2025. So you've already been through this a couple of times. Talk a little bit more about the importance of not only athletics in the Quad Cities region, but women's athletics.
Yeah, so of course, you know, more and more sports are adding girls in. So, you know, you've got hockey, you've got volleyball, you've got all the traditional sports, but you've got girls entering sports like flag football.
Yeah.
You've got all these emerging sports coming, and it's important for these girls to know that what they're doing matters, as well as what, you know, the leadership that they're showing off the field or off, you know, whatever sport they're playing. So it is very important. Them, you know, the minimum requirements for them are just to have a 3.0 GPA. They just have to play a sport in a Quad Cities high school. So any high school within the Quad Cities, and we're pretty broad when we talk about the Quad Cities. There's 58 communities. So, you know, if we've had scholarship winners in Rockridge, we've had scholarship winners at Alleman, we've had scholarship winners, you know, at Rock Island High School, all over.
All over, both Iowa and Illinois, as you see on your screen right there. Those are some of the requirements. You do have to submit a 500-word essay and some letters of recommendation, as well as complete the application. But all in all, you know, pretty simple to apply for the scholarship. And Sarah, before we run out of time, I do want to talk a little bit about First Tee Quad Cities. We had you on the show before. It's an incredible organization. Just as far as your experience is concerned, is this something that you are seeing at First Tee? Are you seeing more young women, young girls, taking an interest and just being confident in that?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. We are making every effort possible to grow girls in golf. We're bringing in women coaches, we're hosting girls clinics, you know, a lot of stuff around the John Deere Classic. So we're just having a lot of fun, you know, with these ladies and really trying to figure out ways to not only support their golf career, but what they're going to do in the future as well.
Very cool. Well, well done, both of you. Thank you so much. Again, the deadline to enter is January 27th. The winners will be announced in March. If you want to learn more after watching this segment, just visit the website on your screen, sportsquadcities.com. You'll find everything you need there. Again, Joan and Sarah, thank you for coming on the show today and talking about this important initiative.
Thank you for having us.
And up next on Quad Cities Live, QC, that's where, cooperating and coordinating among area tourism bureaus to amplify strengths and encourage more visitors across our region.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
QC, that's where. It's where multiple counties are partnering with one another, showcasing how the Quad Cities region comes together to be a destination. Joining me this afternoon is Joan Kranovich from Visit Quad Cities, Cassie Henshaw from Visit Mercer County, and Kelly Wolf from Explore Henry County. Ladies, thank you all for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, so much to talk about. So Joan, let's start with you. So you all represent separate service areas. So kind of talk about what that means for each of you in your day-to-day.
Awesome. Yes. So Visit Quad Cities represents 58 communities.
Yes.
I mean, many people laugh when we say quad and we say 58, but that includes many of the cities that these ladies represent. But our main service area is Rock Island County and Scott County, and then we have Mercer and Henry County as well. That if you have a larger region, why not promote it? And we're all within, you know, a 45 minute drive from one another. Visitors don't know boundaries. They don't realize, oh wow, I went from Iowa to Illinois, or even from one city to another. So it's better to have all of the assets that all of these destinations have to be able to promote together.
No, that's so correct. You don't really think about it like that when you're from here. You know, you see boundaries in a different way than I think a visitor would. So that makes perfect sense. So agritourism, it is very strong in this region. So Cassie, what does having a visitors bureau in Mercer and Henry counties do to kind of enhance those assets?
Honestly, I think it gives the community a mouthpiece. You don't normally think of tourism when you think of Mercer County, but it's there, right? It's just no one's really talking about it, sharing it on a regional scale. And so having a visitors bureau or an entity that's stepping into that role to be that mouthpiece and to lead the conversation and to tie into the region like with Visit Quad Cities is important, because you then educate not only your own community but the regional community about all of the things that are in Mercer County. And so then you can encourage visitors to come down and help guide them where, you know, with things to do, where to shop, where to eat, where to experience nature, which is the identity that we're really trying to tap into in Mercer County.
Yeah, and it's a big part of it too, is if you know you're not sharing it, you're not talking about it, then no one's ever going to know about it. So it's nice to kind of have backup in that sense.
Exactly.
So Kelly, Henry County, it's coming back online to provide that type of engagement to stakeholders. So tell us more about what that means.
Yeah, so a few years ago, the Henry County Economic Partnership got together and started to work to bring the tourism back to life. And so they applied for a state grant and got it. So I came on board about a year ago to develop their strategic plan. And through that was the force to hire a director and have a full-time presence as a tourism bureau to promote all of the communities within Henry County. So taking a regional approach, we got everybody on board, and we officially became a CVB a few months ago.
Wow.
And they brought me on board permanently to start promoting Henry County. So this week, our website, all of our socials, everything goes live where there's itineraries on there to showcase all of the different fun things that you can do, between the winery in Kelowna to Johnson Sioux State Park in Kewaunee, Bishop Hill, and all of the history that's around there, and live music. So just taking that regional approach both within Henry County and connecting it back to Visit Quad Cities.
Yeah, it's so important, and I think that will be so realized, you know, once you get those social media going and get those websites and itineraries going. There is so much to offer in Henry County, and once again, it just harkens back to having the vehicle to share those things and making sure that, you know, everybody knows about them. So Joan, talk a little bit more about how your partnership you know, benefits the entire region.
Yeah, so I'll give an example. So if we're going to host the Professional Disc Golf Association, one of their major events, these ladies have great disc golf courses in their areas, and we've partnered in the past. And Cassie now has Hidden Hills, that the campground has a great brand new disc golf course. So if we're hosting one, we need, you know, 6 to 8 disc golf courses, and we have those in the Quad Cities, but their disc golf courses are state-of-the-art, great to use. So we might be using them. And like I said, the visitors don't know. They are used to driving 30, 45 to an hour if they're living in major cities. So they're okay with staying in one city, playing disc golf in another, and kind of getting their food in a different city. So working together on that, and then the great examples of agritourism. I mean, the farms and farm to table, that is hot right now. So being able to promote all of what they have in the rural communities and the small town charm it's just great for all of us.
Yeah, it kind of just makes everybody shine when you know when you can call all of that your own as a region. So before we run out of time, Cassie, what would you say is one of your favorite things, or I guess maybe places to see in the Mercer County area?
I'm going to talk about 2. Of course, we're going to talk about the river, because the Mississippi River is adjacent to the entire western portion of the county, and you can actually dip your toes, fish right there in the river, and I think that's a really unique asset. And then a new asset that just came up a couple years ago, Merco Motorsports. it encapsulates everything that Mercer County is: fun, nature, recreation.
Yeah, and we're seeing a little bit of that on the screen right now. And when it comes to Henry County, Kelly, what about you? What would you like to share with people about what maybe your personal favorite thing?
Yeah, I mean, I love Lavender Crest Winery just in Kelowna there. I mean, between lunches and just a place to go and relax, and then all of their events and stuff that they put on, as well as Johnson Sioux State Park just north of Kewaunee. I mean, a little gem that we have there that you can go camping and kayaking and trailing and all of that's on the lake there. And then Bishop Hill, our historic little offset there, and live music between that and in Galva and everywhere. Like, there's a lot more than meets the eye in Henry County.
Absolutely, and we have them on the show from time to time, and there is just so much there to be excited about and to share with the world, and it's great that we're starting to see more of that. And Joan, Visit Quad Cities as well. I mean, we know that you guys are doing amazing things for the area, and there's a really convenient way as well for people to check out stuff that's happening in like the QC, like the immediate QC. You guys have a huge calendar on the website.
Yes, it's our #1 visited on the website, visitquadcities.com. You can find out way more about what's happening each weekend and each week.
Which is a ton. And to learn more about each of these tourism bureaus, you can visit them on the web, as we just mentioned. That's visitquadcities.com, henrycty.com, and visit MERCO or Merco.com. Joan, Cassie, and Kelly, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it.
And for a look at the events around the Quad Cities or more on how to become a certified tourism ambassador member, you can visit visitquadcities.com. And a reminder, you can check out all of our QC That's Where segments and business spotlights on our website, kwqc.com. Just click the Quad Cities Live tab. Well, that wraps up Quad Cities Live. Thanks for watching, everyone. Your local news at 4 is up next. I'm Marsha Lenz.